Front nine, back nine, or eyeing the 19th hole, wherever you are in life, Host Plus can help you drive your retirement further. That's a plus.
Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and Tour Pro Mark Allen, live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. And thanks to our great partners, Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. Driving a BMW is like hitting the perfect shot. Smooth, controlled and powerful. Titleist, the clear number one ball in golf. FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Better, when the greats bet, they bet with Better. Ping will help you play your best. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. Now, here's Nick and Mark.
Okay. We are rolling, boys.
You know the last thing I don't have to say right now? I don't have to say, Nick, that it's Masters Week because everyone watching this pod knows exactly that. We're both in green and I think this show's going to write itself. First of all, I want to know how you prepared for the Masters because I think that is a key ingredient in actually wearing the gold jacket at the end of the week. But good to see you.
Also a key ingredient of wearing the green jacket rather than the gold jacket. Did you just say gold jacket?
I didn't say gold jacket, did I?
I wasn't listening.
Did I?
Well,
I meant the green jacket.
Rewind the tape later.
Maybe it's Australian Masters in my head.
Hang on, let's rewind the tape.
That is a key ingredient in actually wearing the gold jacket at the end of the week. Oh, my God. Did I stuff that up or what?
Totally.
Anyway, let's get on with the show. Let's get on with the program. Nick, how did you prepare at Augusta?
Well, the first couple of times was fascinating for me because I was still playing the European Tour and the US Tour. So I was almost basing myself from Australia doing both, which was
difficult.
It was difficult. It was difficult.
Where'd you stay?
So we used to rent a house.
Like everybody?
Like everyone.
Yep.
There's various communities around. The first year, I think, we were probably 15, 20 minutes away. And then the last couple of years, we rented the same house. You sort of get to know the owners, that sort of thing.
Can you tell us how much it costs to
a lot.
week?
Yeah, I think
10,000.
I think it was around 10,000,
Yep.
something like that. Yeah, it was up there.
Yep.
But no, leading into the tournament, the first, I guess, the 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, I would start practicing a lot of sloping lies.
Yeah, okay.
If I noticed a range of, on the side of the range, I really see there's quite a bit of slope, I'd head over there and just start hitting shots. Or in my practice rounds in tournaments I was playing, I'd see a big downhill or an uphill lie, and I just hit extra shots off those. Probably not going to come into play on the course that I was playing that week.
Did you practice fades?
Yeah, I've practiced everything. Especially one shot in particular I had in my head was trying to really draw the ball off a ball below the feet line because that's 13 got written all over it right there.
Yep.
And then 10, very similar as well. I think the best shot shape into that 10th green is something moving left to right. So a draw for me off a downhill lie, probably ball below the feet. So that's very much in my mind as well. You get a few of the uphill lie ones, like on 8. You get hitting quite a severe upslope depending on where you are off the tee. Or for me, I was almost sometimes I hit it in the right-hand bunker. I'd be laying it up well short of the slope.
Yeah.
So bit of a nightmare. But
could you control yourself? Because I know if I was playing my first Masters, I would have made the mistake of so many who play at Augusta for the first time. I would have been there on Sunday. I probably would have played 27 or 36 holes. I might have done the same again on Monday. I would have played 18 on Tuesday and, practiced my life away. Did you make a silly error like that? Because if you don't know, folks, it's the hilliest golf course in the whole world and, you want to be fresh on the 18th, on the first tee on the Sunday.
Well, my first year, I just wanted to get it out of the system, drive down Magnolia Lane, get that whole thing. I was there the weekend before, so I think it was the Saturday afternoon we arrived. And then I didn't play that day. All I wanted to do is I walked straight to the 10th tee and I walked the back nine. I'll go, right, I just want to see this place.
Yeah.
And you start walking down 10, you go, oh my gosh, this is so much more downhill than I thought. And then I actually sat on the back of the 12th green for half an hour just watching people, hit on and then go through. And I just sitting back there going, This is dream world.
Did
you
the
know.
ball land differently on the 12th? Because famously it's got
It's
a
so
lot of
narrow.
it's
So
so
shallow,
narrow,
sorry.
and it's in a cold part of the golf course. And what's it called? Something air that's underneath
The sub air.
The
But
sub air.
they didn't have that back then, I don't think.
Yeah, okay.
But it didn't take as big a bounce on
Yeah.
12. It was more of a skiddy bounce.
Right.
So you'll never really see a ball there land, go up, and then sort of check. It would kind of go this low skid and then
That's
just
right.
release a little. So hard to stop it on that green, unless they're a bit soft. But, it's my favourite hole in the world of golf is the 12th at Augusta because it's a left-hander's hole.
It turns your way.
Turns my way.
Yeah.
The 16th, however, it's a right-hander's hole.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's not my favourite, So there's various things, and then you get to the top hill at 15, and you just look at the view, and you go, "Oh my gosh!" And it really is a dream world.
Talk people through the wind all the way through Amen Corner. Because I know just from going there, I went, I've been there 15 times. The first time I went there was in 2002, which was Adam Scott's very first Masters. I think this is his 25th in a row. He came ninth that week as a kid, which was incredible. But I used to, almost base myself and my tour group, we would walk around and watch everybody. And I've never seen players not know where the wind is on a golf course more than 11, 12 and 13.
Yeah.
It looks like it's impossible.
Well, it's almost you're in one of those wind tunnels, and it's circling and going around and round. It's so bizarre. The thing you have to keep in mind, and the best money I'd ever spent at Augusta was I went to the caddy master and I said, "Who's your best green reader? Who's the guy that knows the course the best?" Now, they all know it really well, but he sent out a guy with me. I can't remember what his name might have been, Curtis or someone like that.
How much did it cost you?
I was a couple of $100.
Nothing.
I don't know whatever it was. I don't know. I just said, I just want you to walk the course with me. That's it. Just walk with my caddy and I. We're going to play, and if you can,
that was a really smart thing.
Yeah,
to do.
and I just said, where do you think the pins will be? And each green we kind of broke down. I probably gave him a bit more than a couple because we're out there for quite a while. But he said, look, remember this: 10, 11, 12. The tees go in the same direction. Okay.
10, 11 and 12, yep.
They're all going the same direction. So when you're on 10, feel where the wind is. When you're on 11, feel where the wind is. 12, it probably won't feel the same, but you got to trust that
that's where the wind's going.
That's where the wind's going. Now, he says in that back corner, 12, 13, it does swirl, and you look at the flag on 11's going right and the flag on 12 is going left.
Yeah.
And you're going, well, hang on, the wind can't be going this way, but it is, opposite directions.
Yeah.
But so you have to sort of trust it.
Well, how did you
12
do that?
especially.
So let's get into
Again,
it a
it's
little bit.
easier for me because I'm a left-hander on 12.
On 12 in particular.
11 was never a big deal for me because I rarely, I never saw the green once for my second shot. I saw the top of the flag, but I never could hit the drive long enough because it's such a long hole. I was a short hitter, remember, that I never really saw the green. So I'm just aiming right, and I'm thinking if I just miss the green right, I can get it up and down from there.
Ben Hogan.
Yeah.
He always said if you ever saw me on the green, it was a miss.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's very different now. When Ben Hogan was playing it, it didn't have that huge dip on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
I think today, Ben Hogan would even, if Ben Hogan was a short hitter, I think Ben wouldn't want to miss the green on the right on purpose.
Not
I think
too far right, yeah.
No, I think he'd be trying to hit it on that right-hand corner.
Yeah, exactly. But you can get a bad bounce off those mounds there, short of 11 now, and can kick in the water. I mean, Rory almost did it last year. And then going up ahead to, say, 13, it really all depends on the tee shot. Again, for me, I wish I'd have – I was playing yesterday. I had my 7-wood out, the G440, the Ping 7-wood. It is the greatest club ever invented. And I love this club.
Affair with it.
And I hit it up the second shot of Cathedral yesterday. I was like,
was it a layup or going for the green?
No, it was layup. It was a hard second shot there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that club would have been perfect for me there on 13 because so many times I had this ball below the feet hanging live with either a 5-wood or a hybrid. Yeah. I don't think I ever hit a tee shot long enough to hit an iron in there. And then same on 15 as well. You really just need that high, soft something coming in from 200, 210 metres, that sort of a distance, I guess.
And the 7-wood is a little bit shorter again than the 5-wood. And just having a short fairway wood and knowing that, you've got this roll and bulge on the on a wood face, it helps you so much with a short shaft.
And the forgiveness now as well with the golf clubs.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny, the last couple of Masters I played, I was living in America and I lived at that place called Isleworth, which is where Tiger was.
Famous place.
And I got the perfect preparation because Tiger lived there. He got the greenkeepers to set the course up
Yes.
like it would be at Augusta. So
Yes.
everything got shaved down. The grain was running away from the greens. They get the greens up to 15, 16 on the stimp and, rock hard. And you just practice there and you go, well, I'm kind of already in tune, for what's coming. And there's the famous story that I think Tiger shot 59 the week before he won the 1997 Masters.
Yeah.
And
he
every
missed
year.
putts. He was missing putts. He shot 59. It was the greatest round Mark O'Meara has ever seen.
Yeah. At Isleworth?
Yeah,
that
it's
is
tough.
so difficult,
Tough
that golf course, yeah. So preparation-wise, Isleworth was great for that because they had a lot of sloping areas and mounding that you could really play some different lies off. So it was never an issue for me. Looking back, I think what I would have done differently is I would have taken the week off before the Masters. But when I was playing, they used to have the Houston Open on as well.
That's right.
And that was actually good preparation because they had a similar grass type and
dry
they'd
grass.
shave it down. So it kind of worked in the same vein.
And at Houston, they used to mow the fairways backwards, just like Augusta. Now, do you know why they moved the Houston Open? Because it used to always be the tournament beforehand. They moved it because the best players, like you do,
Wanted to have the week off.
and fly in, play their practice rounds, and then rock back up on a Tuesday. Play nice and early, nine holes.
Tiger, right?
Tiger.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He had the best prep ever for that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure he played at Houston. I think he used to take a couple of weeks off and really
he played
get into it.
I think he may have played Bay Hill, which would have been 2 or 3 weeks before, and then just started preparing.
Yeah.
It was all about the majors, much like Jack Nicklaus back in the day. But then there are guys that just overdo it. They play 18, 36 holes every day almost leading into it, and they are exhausted by the end of it because it's the hilliest golf course to walk.
Yeah.
It really is.
People don't understand how hilly it is. I mean, I think if you know Victorian golf, there's a golf course called Riversdale where they have the Riversdale Cup every year, a very big amateur tournament. I think it's more hilly than Riversdale. Riversdale is a golf course I don't want to walk anytime soon. I mean, there's some real straight uphill sort of shots.
Yeah.
Anyway, I always think if I ever got there, Nick, and I never did, but if I ever got there, I reckon I would have somehow tried not to overdo it early. I would have played in Houston, got used to those fairways the wrong way, and I would have done what the better players do. Played somehow the week before, maybe once or twice on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, go home, recover, do your weights, get all your reps in.
Fly in and out private, that sort of thing.
That would have been nice if things were going well. And then I would have rocked up on Monday night and tried to get an early hit off on Tuesday morning, just play 9. And then, do your pitching and your chipping and do all that sort of stuff. Same on Wednesday.
Well, you got to do the par 3 comp as well.
Got to do the par 3 comp.
I know some players don't, like Tiger doesn't.
Tiger doesn't.
And it's such a cool little couple of hours.
I'd love to play
it's
that.
brilliant. But you got to choose the right time because it can be pretty slow. Because you got Jack, Arnie, and Gary usually play together, or they used to play together.
Yeah.
Arnie's passed obviously now, but you get behind the wrong groups and you can be out there for 3 hours, which is like,
it's funny you say about the 9-hole golf course. I mean, like I said before, I took people to Augusta for, I don't know, over 10 years, a long time. And I would always do the tour. So, our first day was always on the Wednesday and I would take whoever wanted to come with me and I'd show them around. And the first stop was always the par 3 course. So we would just, go past all the stalls. You can go shopping later. We'd walk straight down there. I'd show them right around that course. Then we'd do a little, shortcuts all the way through the main course. I was amazed how many people used to always go back to the little course to check it out. They would go back. They were so amazed that there was a golf course behind the clubhouse that was every bit as fun as the one in the front of the clubhouse.
I'd love to go back now and see everything that's gone on to the right of like the 5th hole. Apparently they got Berkman's Place over there, which is the massive corporate facility. Yeah. They've got putting greens. They've got all these extras now.
They got a 12th hole.
Especially with they've got a 12th.
They've got a 12th hole in the middle of the corporate area.
Wow. But the other thing is this new driving range. I heard they've just built a new facility for all the players that now they can drive underground and they arrive and then they pop straight back up to the practice area and they've got like dining, physios, gyms.
Are you kidding me?
Apparently it's just been opened or for this year. So
there's a tunnel under Washington Road?
I guess, yeah. I was reading about it somewhere that they've just built this new facility for the players. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
I know Augusta just lashed out and upgraded the public golf course that's in Augusta. So that's called the Patch. That opens up, I think, on the 15th of April.
Okay.
So if you don't know, there's a couple.
Did Tiger have something to do with that as well?
Yeah, Tiger was part of it. He's obviously not going to be here this week. We wish him well.
We do. And he's not going to be Ryder Cup captain, I believe.
That's the best thing.
Pulled out of that.
Who are the options for Ryder Cup captain, do you know?
Well, I think they've got they were talking Snedeker, Webb Simpson, which no. Stricker, I think he'd be a good option.
He'd be perfect.
Stuart Sink and Justin Leonard.
Yeah,
They're sort of the five they're talking about.
Yeah, you need someone
Stricker was at Whistling Straits, wasn't he?
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, but you need,
Harrington.
I mean, considering how strong Europe is at the moment and what they've been doing and Luke Donald staying on, you couldn't have a first-timer against Luke Donald. No way. You need someone with a bit of cunning, and you would think Steve Stricker would do it. Hey, all the Sixers going back 50 years, they all had a little bit of something about it except for one. Except for one.
Well,
I'll get to it. So, okay.
It still had something about it.
1966.
Yes.
Jack Nicklaus went back-to-back for the first time in his career. So, 65 and 66.
And he won in 63, by the way. He won 3 Masters in 4 years.
Yeah, just remarkable when you look at his record there. So, Jack going back-to-back. In 76, Raymond Floyd he either tied the scoring record or he blew the field away or he created the scoring record.
He won by 8, I think.
Yeah, just blew him away. And he had the 5 wood in the bag. And you know how every winner has to donate a club?
Yeah.
He donated the 5 wood
lovely.
there at Augusta. And he said that was the win. That was that was his winning decision.
I pulled out my old PGF Aristocrat 3 wood the other day, by the way, and I put it I put it on socials next to my my 4 wood that I'm carrying, and it's amazing the difference. I was going to have a hit of it, but I never got a chance to, but I will.
Okay, so that was 76.
76.
86.
Of course.
We've done a Masters special on it last week.
If you haven't watched it, please.
The greatest tournament in the history of golf tournaments, 86. In 96, I watched this a couple of days ago. Greg Norman had a 6-shot lead and Nick Faldo won by 7.
Incredible, isn't it?
No, he won by 11. So 1 by 5.
1 by 5.
He beat him by 11 shot difference on the day.
And the stories that go along with that year, I mean, we won't go into them, but
I can give you one story.
Yeah, go on.
Can I give you one story?
Are you talking?
I'm talking Laura Norman sent the jet home.
Oh, there's that one. Yeah.
Oh, God. So then you're Greg Norman and you've had trouble winning the Masters. You've had trouble.
Yeah.
You're 40 years old and you're leading by 6 shots.
What year?
1996.
96. Okay. Yeah, right.
You're leading by 6. You're not hitting off until about 2:30 in the afternoon.
It's the 10-year anniversary of 86.
Yes, it's a 10-year anniversary. And I reckon the Shark, with a history of not winning majors, would be pretty nervous. Laura Norman, in her wisdom, sent the jet back to Florida to pick up all of Greg's mates and bring them back.
Oh, no.
So on the morning of the Sunday of the 96 Masters, Greg's eating his cornflakes, bang, bang, bang on the front door, and 6 or 7 of his rowdiest mates came through drinking champagne and celebrating a win that hasn't happened yet. Greg Norman speaks about this in his, is it a 30 for 30 that he did at Augusta?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, my God. I had heard that story.
That's the mockers right there.
I'd heard that story a long time ago because a friend of mine, the bear, we call him the polar bear, he actually bought him at auction. His wife, Kiki, his wife, got 2 kids at a primary school. Greg used to put, you can play with me and I'll host you at my golf club and then I'll host you for dinner at my house. It went for $25,000 US. My mate bought it, thought it was the greatest deal of his life. Greg told that story that night to him.
Wow.
So I'd known about this story forever, but it was great to get it confirmed by the man himself. But could you imagine if you've got the 6-shot lead, you've had a hard time winning this bloody thing, and your mates come bursting through the front door drinking champagne? Whew.
Yeah.
Talk about put
there was the other
bad vibe on your Sunday.
Wasn't there? There was another story there. Who was the guy who? He's the famous commentator. He used to do the Biz Hub, Monica Canolta. Remember that guy?
Yeah. God, what's his name? I'll think of it in a tick. Go on.
But he was telling the story about how earlier in the week Greg had been working with a stronger grip.
Yes.
and he'd gone out and shot 63 first round, then 69, then
Yes.
71, and he
Yeah.
noticed the grip had got weaker and weaker as the tournament had gone on. And then Saturday night, I think someone sort of grabbed him and said, well, what do you think? And he says, well, not sure about his grip. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold up and all this.
Yeah.
And then apparently that night, Greg Norman saw the interview, or saw the comments,
Right.
and was not happy. And then Sunday morning has gone to his buddy, who was it, Frank Chikinian, who was the famous CBS
Yes.
producer,
Had
director,
a crack at him.
and had a crack at it. And he's gone, mate, if you're worried about this guy talking about your grip Sunday morning with a 6-shot lead, well, hang on, we're in a bit of strife right here. And anyway.
Anyway,
And then
look,
it fell from there.
This
So-
is starting to sound like a bit of excuses for Greg in 96 episode. But can I tell you another thing that he said?
All right,
that
go on.
If you haven't said it. So with that
I gotta
grip,
look up that guy's name.
you just reminded me, because of the grip change, it was also new, but he was playing very conservative in rounds 1 and 2.
Yes.
But every time he made a swing, because of the new grip, he didn't really know where the ball was going. And he had one of those days, or Thursday, Fridays, where he'd aim at the middle of the green, he'd look up and the ball was heading straight at the flag. 'Cause,
Love those days.
That's what you do when you play conservative. If you're feeling a bit nervous or if your game's not on,
Peter Costas, I got it.
Peter Costa.
Sorry.
So you aim at the centre of the green, and quite often because one, you're under pressure. 2, you don't really know where it's going. Quite often you follow through and you go, holy crap, that's going at the pin. Well, he had a day like that
Yeah.
on Thursday, and he had a day like that on Friday. Didn't go so well for him on Saturday, but he tells the story that he didn't really know where the ball was going.
Nothing worse as well. When you've got the lead or in the last group and you've played so well, it's just slowly, you're leaking
It's
oil.
just going away
and you're
from
in the
where you started.
final group and you just got all the attention. Everyone thinks you're playing great. And in your own mind, you go, I have no clue where this ball's going. But somehow I just got to get to the clubhouse.
That's it.
And it was one of those days.
Yeah, and you just have a great putting week or whatever the hell it might be. Sometimes you end up there and you know in your heart of hearts that it's because of another reason.
I was watching the Rory documentary the other day, the final, round last year, and the shot he hit into 10 where he lets go of the club. He lets go of the club. And in his words, he said, as soon as I hit it, I knew it was going left. And I look up and it's going straight at the hole. And he goes, oh, that's a good surprise. It's like that.
It does happen, yeah.
it's-
Greg had one of those days on the Thursday in 96. So that's 96 well and truly covered. In 2006, Phil Mickelson won. It was, I think, the middle of his 3 green jackets. Can you remember what happened that week?
I'm
Something
trying to remember.
significant in his what's in the bag.
I know I had a top 20. So
Something significant. You'll get this being a lefty.
Yeah.
Something significant about his what's in the bag.
Oh, yes.
Happened that week.
He had
for
the draw fade drivers.
That's right.
He had 2 drivers.
Had 2 drivers in the bag. That's right. So the week before, the tournament was the Bell South or something like that.
Yeah, they used to have the Bell South back
and he
then,
won by a million miles at the Bell South and took the 2 driver combination into Augusta. So it was the first time in history of golf at a major where someone had won a major with 2 drivers.
Incredible.
In the golf bag. He led driving that week for distance, so he could fade it off the tee beautifully. He could draw it off the tee, whatever he wanted, and he was just hitting it into the go zone better than anybody else in 2006. So he did that. And then, of all these amazing things that have happened in the Sixers, in 2016 we had
Danny Willett.
kind of falls off the cliff.
But
Folks.
at the same time, it was actually very famously the one that Jordan Spieth
That's right.
should have won.
That's right.
I think he had
Snap hooked it off the 10th, and that was the end of him.
trying to think, he had a 4 or a 5-shot lead standing on 10, and he
Yep.
go bogey, and quad.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he's 3 or 4 behind, standing
Yep.
on 13.
That's
so,
exactly right. The
He hit it in
12.
the water 2 or 3 times, I think. Yeah, it was
So
horrible.
I think Danny
But credit to Danny Willett. I mean, he played some
Oh, mate.
amazing golf down the stretch.
You've won mate. You're turning up to the Champions Dinner eating
Every
elk
year.
sliders this year. Well done to you.
And drinking, Chateau Lafitte. So
Thank you. So look, I think he started 500 to 1 at the start of the week too, Danny Willett.
something like that. I
Amazing
don't know.
career. He was the number 1 amateur in the world, Danny Willett, for a long time.
Hell of a
Fiddled around
nice,
with his golf swing.
very nice guy. No,
Seems
he's-
like a good character.
yeah. He lived at Isleworth for a little bit when I was towards the end. My last couple of years there, he was there a bit. So no, really good guy.
All right. So what's going to happen in 2026? We do not know. I do know this. We had a beautiful surprise at the Augusta Women's Amateur Championship.
We did.
Wow.
The Anwar.
The Anwar. Did
What a
we
great
have
event
ripper?
that is. Yeah.
What's her name? Reagan Denton. She's from Royal Adelaide,
Mm-hmm.
and she finished tied for 4th.
So impressive.
That is so good. She's
Yeah.
an 18-year-old, folks,
First-
playing. And she shot 69 at her first look, apart from the practice round, at Augusta.
Yeah.
First tournament round at Augusta, she shot 69 off the stick.
I know. Best ever finish by an Aussie. I think there's only been one other Aussie who'd made the cut to play Augusta,
That's
which was
right.
Kirsten Rudgley.
That's right.
A few years ago.
Rudge.
She finished tied for 8th, but Reagan goes 4 spots better. The tournament, it was really Asterix Tallies who had the lead, and then we had the 12th hole drama. The 12th hole, it just gets you people again.
Because there'll be plenty of people who listening to this who do not know what happened to Tally. What's her first name?
Asterix.
Asterix Tally.
Asterix
That's
Tally.
her.
She's going to be a superstar.
So
She's
she made
17 years old.
She made a quad on the 12th and didn't hit it into Rays Creek. Is it Rays Creek?
Off the tee.
Off the tee, yeah.
No, so
Tell the story.
she goes long into the flowers, funnily enough. It rolls back into the bunkers, the back left bunker, which is not a good spot.
Yeah.
On the downslope, hits it in the water. It's so hard to
Yep.
keep that on the green. It's
Yep.
one of the hardest bunk shots in the world. And then does something which no one could really understand. She decides to – you got options, right? You can go the other side of the water, play on,
Yep.
or you can play from where you just did. But that's what she did. She dropped it in the bunker. You know it's going to plug.
You know it's going to plug.
It plugs. Maybe she thought, I could drop it on this leaf or something.
Now,
I don't know.
Tell me this. What's the rule when you drop it
Mm.
in a bunker like that?
It's got to be as close to where you last played it.
Right.
So
you can't go back on the line in that situation.
No.
Because what you could do is you could go back in the line and drop it on the
On the
down
wall
slope,
and
let it roll down, and if it doesn't roll in front of where you were. But if you've got to drop it to as close as you possibly can, let's just got plug written over it every day of the week.
Exactly. Yeah.
So she hit in the water again.
Hit in the water again, then went over the other side, wedged it on and hold quite a long putt for a
She held a
quadruple.
12-footer.
Yeah, and that was it basically. So, she got done.
And
But
the girl from Spain won.
the Spanish girl, we'll go through that all in the Ping Globe results. But from an Aussie point of view, fantastic result. I didn't watch any of the drive, chip and putt, unfortunately.
No,
you
nor
know
did
how
I.
they have that one on, but I did see some footage of some young kid with this left hand low, swinging it, like John
Cack-handed.
Daly and absolutely hammering drives. It was the
Really?
most amazing thing, yeah.
I read the other day that beautiful practice range they built. Did you ever get the practice
No, I
range?
never got to that one.
You got late.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
no, that was well before well after my time.
that driving range costs just $130 million US dollars, and the only people who are allowed to use it are golfers who are actually in the tournament, pitch and putt
Mhm.
players, so that little kids and the girls who play in the NY.
Not the members.
Not the members. The members are banished from that area.
That's incredible, isn't it?
I'd be dirty if I was a
I'd be
member.
filthy with
I'd
that.
be filthy because when you walk in, you walk the
You
first
walk in
thing
going,
you
hang
see.
on, we paid for this.
That's right. When you walk in as a patron, you walk straight past and you look at it and your mouth is open. You can just see.
So where are you walking in from? Because I've never seen where it is.
Oh, well, it's very different.
Yeah.
So it's a long way away from.
So sorry, I only ever got to drive up Magnolia.
You're a fair dinkum arsehole.
Oh.
That's what you are. It's so Washington, is it Washington Road out the front or
Yeah.
Washington Highway,
Yep.
whatever it is. And then
Drive, yeah.
Yeah, and then you turn left at
Or
Hooters, basically.
Okay, right.
Turn
left at Hooters.
Turn
Okay.
left at Hooters, and you go down there,
Gotcha.
and they've cleared everything, and there's huge big car parks out
Yeah,
there.
they bought a bunch of houses and cleaned
They
it all
have
out.
bought
Yeah,
everything.
They bought everything there.
They have bought everything in the vicinity. They bought apartment blocks.
Oof.
They just don't care. They've got so much money. It's funny. Just on that, we were there, and all the guys in the green coats, they're there helping the tournament along. And I was there with the bloke called David Wren, who used to run our tours with me. And he went up to him, and he just, he got to talking with him. He said, "How do you do all this?" He goes, "It's just amazing." And the bloke stood up in his green jacket and said, "Well, sir, with unlimited funds, anything is possible."
I love it. That is very true. Very true. Yeah.
Folks, so go back and have a look at our better review when we've gone through all the players and maybe trying to make you a little bit of money. But I think we're on a winner. Lewis, I think we are on a winner. I can't see, there's no telltale signs of an Australian victory. but we've got our fingers crossed.
You never know. You never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
Boys, let's go to the turn and we'll come back. We've got a heap of stuff to get through in the back half of the show and the back nine.
What's your top 5?
It's going to be on the top 5 most amazing moments on the 12th hole after what I saw with Asterisk Tally.
Yeah, okay.
And
that's got to make the top 5, I reckon. Does it?
It does not.
What?
No, I'm going to keep that one out of it, unfortunately. But
Okie doke.
now remember, this pod doesn't start until the second 9.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. On Sunday.
On Sunday.
On Sunday. We'll catch you on the 10th tee, folks.
Oh my word.
Titleist GT, a new class of drivers.
Some courses perfect the landscape, others the experience, and every now and then, both come together. Golf Flute exists to bring dreams to life. A chance for you and your crew to live the stories you've only heard about. June, crafted. Memories, waiting. The kind of trip you'll talk about for the rest of your life because of who you shared it with. Some dreams sit just out of reach until someone hands you the key. Yours is waiting. Join the club.
From Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, this is Talk Birdie to Me. We're here for BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. The golf clearance outlet, they beat everyone's prices. Ping will help you play your best. And better, ahead of the game. Now for Titleist, the number 1 ball in golf, and FootJoy, the number 1 shoe and glove in golf. Here's Nick and Mark.
Okay, get ready for the back 9 on Wednesday evening if you're watching on YouTube.
It's called the second 9 at Augusta. You don't say the back 9,
That's
Mark.
right. If
Come
you
on.
say the back 9.
You can't say spectators or crowds.
That's on the list of
it's-
things you can't say.
It's patrons.
The second 9.
What other rules are there? What other is there other
I
rules?
think the best rule ever is the no phone policy.
Yeah.
And you watch people on property
Watch
and
the
they
point.
have no idea what's going on because they can't look at their phones. So when the scoreboard changes,
Yep.
you hear the roars.
Yeah.
Roars from
For a
scoreboards.
scoreboard change.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, it is
Plus,
right.
they're all doing this. They're looking. They're not looking down here.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a
It is
phenomenal thing.
beautiful.
No running, by the way.
No
fast walking.
No
Sorry.
walking fast. I told that story last week. If you didn't
did.
hear last week,
Yeah.
one of our group was this beautiful old man. He's never done a thing wrong in his whole life. Not a thing in his life would he have done wrong. He's that type of person. But he wanted to get his chair right behind the 18th on the Sunday. He was desperate to get his chair down. And he was walking fast, Nick, and he was warned. And then this big guy came and plucked him, grabbed him by the back of the
Grabbed him.
shirt and took him to the walking fast sin bin and sat him there like a naughty boy. There was two. There was him and this nutcase looking dude. And it was just so out of place.
It's priceless.
If I had a camera, I would have taken a photo, but you're not allowed to have cameras.
Not allowed to.
Not allowed to have cameras. That's one of the other
You
crazy
don't want
rules
to be on the
there
wrong side of the men of the Masters, do you?
as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, time
All
for
right,
this
now we've got
week's-
a touch of class for BMW. Any
We do.
Any ideas?
Driving a BMW is like hitting the perfect shot.
Well, that is pure magic.
Well, you know, we're seeing all the player interviews at the moment, and I thought one of the best ones was from Justin Rose because he's been runner-up 3 times now at
Twice in
Augusta.
playoffs.
I mean, he has won a major. He's won the US Open at Marion, but it must be killing him. And when he spoke to the press, I thought this is a touch of class.
You know, I think for me, I'm very aware that I've been close here. You know, I'm very aware that I've had tough losses here. I also am aware that I enjoy this place. So I don't want to I don't want to feel like that those 3 second place finishes need to create a different sort of feeling for me. You know, I can't control the outcome. I think last year in the playoff, I felt like I learned from 2017. I felt like I played a much better playoff than I did previously. So I kind of adapted. I learned. I knew what was coming. I did the right things. I executed. I made 2 good swings. Hit a reasonable putt, I thought. So yeah, I did everything that I could do. So I can live with that in a way. So I can be philosophical about it, I think. Yeah, of course. I look at it and go, those are racking up. They're stacking up. Yeah. But someone said, I think 8 players maybe have won this tournament after finishing second the year before, which probably increases my odds if you look at the field. So I've got to look at that and go, okay, that's good. Happy with that. So I don't know. Like I said earlier, I can only turn up on Thursday and execute. That's all I can do, and get here on Monday and enjoy it. Those are the 2 things I have control over.
Yeah, brilliant. And he's actually my pick for the week.
Oh.
All right, let's get to the better top 5 because I'm dying to find out what is on your list.
When the greats bet, they bet with better. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
The top 5 for better. When the greats bet, they bet with better.
Top 5, top 5, top 5.
Most memorable moments.
Memorable.
Of carnage?
No, it could be good or bad.
Okay.
Just one of those things.
At the 12th hole.
Number 5 is total carnage.
Total carnage.
The worst score ever on the 12th hole.
Was it Tommy Nakajima?
No.
Who was it?
It's Tom.
Oh, not Tom Lehman.
No.
Not Tom
He
Watson.
should have taken his own advice. Hit through the ball.
Tom Weiskopf.
Tom Weiskopf.
Oh,
he
no.
made a 13 at Rays Creek. Hit 5 balls in the water.
5.
5.
But that gorgeous swing hit 5 in the water at Rays Creek.
I think it started, though, with one from the back bunker and
okay.
then just kept hitting it in from there. So
Asterix tally style.
Asterix tally. Number 4, in 1958. We're going back a long way. And I didn't know about this, so I wanted to read a bit of history. But Arnold Palmer had a 1-shot lead over Ken Venturi.
Yeah.
He plugged his ball over the back of the green.
Yes.
Just in the light rough there. Not
Plugged
in the bunker. Just
plugged in the grass.
in the grass. And he asked for a drop from the official. The official said, no, sorry, it's only from, shortcut playing surfaces.
Said no to the king.
Because Palmer said, no, I think there's a local rule here that says I can take a drop. The official said no. He said, well, I'm going to play 2. I'm going to play provisional and this one. His first ball, he makes double.
Right. And was that from the plug or
That's
was
from
that
the
from
plug
the
lie.
dropped? Okay.
That's from the plug lie. From the dropped lie, the provisional, the second ball, he makes par. And Venturi's gone, no, you can't do that. You didn't say provisional ball. And he said, no, I did, blah, blah, blah.
I said it to this guy.
Yeah, he said it to him. Anyway, they don't know what the ruling is. Palmer then eagles 13.
Oh.
Okay.
So no one knows what the score is.
No one knows what's happening. Then on the 15th, they find out that the par stands. He did, in fact, get relief.
Because there was a local rule. And if he'd won the Masters before, that's 58. This is the first time he won it.
First time.
Yeah.
This is his first Masters. When he bogeys 16 and 18 and wins by 1 after he got the par rather than the double on 12. Now.
How was Ken?
Oh, I'm not sure.
He would have been dirty.
I'm not sure he was all that happy. But funnily enough, the following year, he led by 2 going into the 12th.
Who? Venturi?
No, Palmer.
Palmer.
Makes triple and loses by 1. So there's a bit of, give and take on this 12th hole for Palmer. But that was my number 4 anyway.
That's a good one.
Number 3 was Tiger when he found the green. Just a simple one. He just found the green after Koepka, Finau and Molinari all hit it in the water. That was the year of 2019. Obviously one of the greatest Masters victories ever.
It's probably the second best Masters ever.
It's the second, I think, yeah. Could be the third now after Rory's win last year. History, time will tell, I guess.
Situational.
Funnily enough, the following year, you know what Tiger made on the 12th?
A big number?
He made a 10.
He made a 10?
Remember he made 10?
I don't remember
You
Tiger
don't remember
making
that?
a 10.
Yeah, he made 10.
Is that on your list?
Well, that was 3B,
Yeah,
sort of
okay.
3A, 3B. Anyway.
Oh, so it's not quite a top 5.
Number 2, I've already mentioned it, Jordan Spieth, 2016, had a 5-shot lead after 9 holes, then went bogey, quad, and he was 3 back standing on the 13th tee. So
At least he's got a gold jacket though, Spieth. So I'm glad that he turns up.
Stop saying gold jacket.
Oh, I did too. He's got a green. He's got a green jacket though, Spieth. So I'm happy.
Okay.
No need to rewind that one.
No, that's true.
I remember that.
And number 1, perhaps the moment which it's the only time that it's ever happened until, funnily enough, the Anwar again on the weekend, where 1992, Fred Couples hits one into the bank. It always goes into the water.
Yep.
And somehow it stayed there because I think they got some overnight rain.
Yep.
Ball's just stayed up in the rough.
Yep.
And he got it up and down for par, and he went on to a 2-shot win over Raymond Floyd. Now, I think the lady who won the Anwar, the same thing happened. I didn't actually see it. I heard about it where her ball stayed up as well.
Yeah. I saw the 96 Masters replayed, the year of 96, the Masters.
Where did he hit it on 12?
Greg, I can't remember what he did on the last day, but on one of his rounds, it was a Fred Couples-like situation where it rolled down. It was short of the trap and stayed up. Somehow,
really?
Chipped it to a foot and went on with it.
Gosh.
So I remember that. The other thing about Fred Couples' victory, remember Craig Parry in the last round was absolutely crucified by the American crowd. They all wanted Freddie to win.
Yep.
And Paz, he got rattled.
Yeah.
Probably for the first time in his career was he rattled. I always rate Paz as probably one of the strongest minds in professional golf. I just always felt that about Craig Parry.
One of the grittiest competitors in the game. Yeah, he certainly was. But
not that week.
But and just another little tidbit on that sort of area of the golf course. I saw numbers 10, 11 and 12. Historically, 10 is the second hardest hole.
Yep.
11's the hardest hole.
Yep.
And 12 is the fourth hardest hole.
And the trickiest.
So if you get through those three in par or better,
you've killed it.
Yeah.
Amen corner. Beautiful.
Well, Amen corner is 11, 12, 13.
11, 12, 13.
So you're close.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. Makes sense. Okie doke. Our plus for golf this week, Reagan, to come fourth. So incredible. Reagan Denton, as an 18-year-old, tied fourth at the Augusta Women's Amateur. Keep going.
Augusta National Women's Amateur.
Augusta National Women's Amateur.
There you go. Do you think one day we may see a women's Masters? Wouldn't that be something?
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I know.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It'd be fun to see in the Anwar they play maybe 36 holes at Augusta. Like the first 2 days at this Champions Retreat, second 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
and maybe do it a little earlier.
I think that's a chance. And it's, the last thing this mob needs is money.
I know.
It's the last thing it needs. So the only reason they would do it is because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So maybe they will.
Let's hope so.
Maybe they will.
So for Host Plus, Regan is the...
Regan Denton is
Regan or Reagan?
I think it was Reagan, but it could be either.
Okay.
So,
all right.
You say potato, I say potato.
Okay. I want to get a name right.
Reagan Denton.
Yeah, she's obviously a young star coming through.
You bet she is.
She is. Off to college
Whereabouts?
soon.
Do we know?
Oh, I didn't read that.
I'll find out.
Okay, boys, a bit of feedback.
Yes.
Talk Birdie feedback. Thanks to Southern Golf Club.
This feedback today is going to be all Masters themed, which is good. That'll be a bit of fun.
That makes sense.
Parker has written in about the Masters, or the 86 one that we put up a couple of days ago, which if you haven't heard or watched, go and check it out in the feed or on YouTube. It's worth a look. Parker has said, the commentary that you refer to as the best commentary ever was brilliant.
And Jack Nicklaus, knowing he must continue the charge, he has to figure that Ballesteros will make at least birdie back at 15. If anyone has ever owned this hole, it would be Jack Nicklaus. When he won his first green jacket back in 1963, he did it with a birdie here at 16. And of course, who can forget 1975? The 40-foot putt. Tom Weiskopf, what is going through Jack's mind right now? He has not experienced this kind of a streak in a long time.
If I knew the way he thought, I would have won this tournament. No, seriously. He is just going to fire this right at the pin. He's going to think, Jack, this is time right now. Make the swing that you are capable of making. Stay down, accelerate through the ball, make a good golf swing. Your destiny is right here.
It's right at it. Oh, my.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. And your pickup about Nance going with it, and then Nicholas, he goes, "Oh, bit slippery there."
Backs
he actually
away.
said, "A bit slippery there," and changed the tee up, and then something else went wrong.
Yeah.
And when you listen to it, I was like, "Yeah, he had run out of stuff.
He'd
Completely
built it
run
up,
out.
and the only reason, because I remember watching a podcast where Jim talks about it.
Yeah, okay.
You know, he was only, I think Nance was 26 years old.
Yeah.
He was a few years out of college, and they've got him on the 16th tee at Augusta.
Yeah, incredible.
How good must he have been as an announcer?
Do you know who his roommate was at the University of Houston?
Freddie Couples.
Freddie Couples.
Yeah.
How about that? That is amazing.
A Masters question for you here from Vince. Guys, Justin Rose, you referred to this a little earlier actually. Justin Rose has lost 2 playoffs in the Masters.
Yes.
Mentally, this would be very difficult to deal with. Seems to me that losing by a shot in regulation might be easier to get over than losing in a playoff. But on the other hand, maybe there's a sense of pride in being involved in a memorable playoff, even if you don't come out on top. What do you think of that?
Well, look, you'd think if there was a bit of a issue about coming second, he mightn't have done it 3 times in a row. Maybe just 2 times. But I'm a believer in Justin.
If you listen to his interview he has an amazing perspective on the game, and he's saying, look, in this sport, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, and you just got to do the best you can and show up.
Yep. And look, I've read a little bit about his preparations at the moment. It is off the charts.
Really?
Yeah, off the charts, and it's all about this particular week.
A question here from Anthony. Nick, what was your best result at the Masters? By the way, great show, fellas.
Well, thanks for watching, first and foremost, and listening. Tied for 19th.
Uh-huh.
I think it was the one Phil won, 2006. And that year they had a top 16 rule.
Oh, top
16 gets you in the next week. And I might have made a bogey on 17. So I missed by
drop
one.
out of the top 16.
To drop out of the top 16. So I was thinking, am I going to get back next year? But it didn't matter. I was still top 50 in the world, and I played again the next year. So I was very happy.
This is a comment from Samantha on last year's Masters. Samantha has said, Rory's shot, the one that you say is the greatest ever, was unnecessary and foolhardy. The fact that he pulled it off makes it look impressive, but it didn't save the tournament for him, that particular shot. And if it had landed 2 feet shorter, he'd have finished mid-table and it would have destroyed his confidence for the rest of his life. Typical Rory, though. He's great to watch because you never know what he's going to do.
It would have destroyed some confidence if he'd done a Sevi Ballesteros and chunked it in the pond. That would have been interesting to see where Rory is at the moment. But I did think it was necessary.
Happen.
Yeah, that's right. It didn't happen. I did think it was necessary.
Yeah.
Just the way the tournament felt at the moment, he had to do something special.
Did you watch the thing he did with Jim Nance, the little documentary?
No, it's sitting there.
You need to watch that because he speaks about this exact specific moment. And he said all week, whenever he went aggressive and full commitment, something good happened. And he said that was a moment. And the reason he hit it in the creek on 13 was because he wasn't committed and just did the wrong thing and he says it was just a waft at it. Basically, it was a horrible shot. Whereas on 15, he knew even if it doesn't hook, he's in the right bunker, he can get it up and down, no problem. So it was a no-brainer to go for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so respectfully, I don't even say respectfully. No, I retract that. I disagree.
I do totally as well. No,
totally
it was the right thing to do.
Okay. Well, Samantha has been put in her place.
He wouldn't have laid up with us. He had 7-iron in. What's he going to lay up with? A wedge?
It's hard to overhook a 7-iron.
No.
I think you're much more likely to block it.
Yeah. Comment here from Bain. I just watched the full 3 hours on YouTube of 86. Shark should have won, except for some shots an 18 handicapper would be embarrassed by. 10 and 18. Wow.
The big pull on 10 was enormous. Pull on 10.
Yeah, he did go a long way left.
Yeah. He did that earlier too. He had done that before.
I think he had Bruce Edwards on his bag, didn't he? Was it Bruce Edwards?
May well have been.
Yeah, anyway.
May well have been. So I saw Feldo talking about his recollections of 96 and he seemed to remember
He was saying 86.
80, yeah. He seemed to remember Greg doing something like that in, was it 86? It must have been.
Right.
Because in 96 he did the same thing. And pulled the 8 on.
Now this is the last one of the Masters, and I think this is really good. This comes from David in Rio de Janeiro.
Hey.
Oh. David has said, hey guys, enjoying the podcast. I wanted to add to Jack's 86 Masters triumph and one really cool detail that you missed. When Jack hit his shot on 16, his son says, be right? And Jack says, as he bends down to pick up his tee, replies, it is, not even watching. That's a man in control of the golf.
Did he really?
Oh, he didn't know that?
No.
I thought we mentioned that.
I didn't know
okay,
that.
maybe we didn't. But yeah, no, he says it is.
I didn't know that. I knew he couldn't see.
Yeah.
I knew that, so he just picked up the tee. He can't see it.
Well, he wouldn't be able to see where the ball is, but he knows he's flushed. He knows he's got the right club. He accelerated through the ball. It was
Do you know
perfect.
one of my favourite stats about Jack Nicklaus?
Go on.
So in 1997, Tiger Woods won by 13 shots.
Mhm.
Right, and then he adjusts his swing and it took a couple of years to get going. In 1998,
Oh, yes.
Jack Nicklaus finished, I think it was tied 8th,
Might have been
And-
5th or 6th.
something like that. And he beat Tiger at the age of, what was he?
58.
58.
Wow.
So that's one of my favourite Jack Nicklaus
And I have
stats. He could still go. And
I have a feeling Jack thought he had a chance that year too.
And are you ready for the end of this?
Go on.
2 months after finishing 6th, he had a hip replacement. so
The walk killed him.
At 58, he's finished in front of Tiger, top 10 in a Masters with a dodgy hip.
Incredible.
God, that is incredible.
Awesome.
We had a heap of other comments on Masters. We might leave it there, but I do want to finish on one that I know I said it'd just be Masters, but one non-Masters one because it's about Tiger, and I think it's an important one. This comes from Camo. Hey guys, I'm a massive Tiger fan, but to have him once again involved in another serious accident is a disgrace. I'm a first responder in New South Wales, in regional New South Wales, and I see the impact these incidents have on everyone involved. Sort your shite out, Tiger, because you will kill yourself or someone else if this continues. I just thought I'd mention that one because it is a very serious thing that happened.
Yep.
And I think, we don't want to sugarcoat it and be dismissive of it. Not that we are. We're absolutely not. But
I think you've handled it pretty
but I think
well.
that was as a first responder, I think
It's nice to hear that.
Camo's
Yeah.
is good to have.
Good wake-up call.
That's the feedback, boys, for Southern Golf Club.
Okay, time to find out what's been happening around the world with the Ping global results.
Thought there might have been Masters music on this one, but no, we've still gone
Probably
with
get in
the
trouble for that.
Well, you know what? We're going to start at Augusta with the Anwar,
Yes.
where our own Reagan Denton finished tied for 4th. Congratulations. But Colombian Maria Jose Marin had a 4-shot win over Spain's Andrea Revuelta.
She tossed her dad off the bag caddying for her and got a local caddy, a bit like you. You got local caddy, not an Augusta caddy, but someone who caddied in the area.
Oh, I didn't. I just had
Yeah, I
someone
know.
walk with us.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't get
Yeah.
rid of Wilbur. Wilbur's
But
always
he-
on the bag.
yeah,
so,
employed.
yeah.
She employed somebody locally, which is great.
That was a great win by the
Smart.
Colombian. So well done to her. Asterisk Tally, who, as I mentioned, just had a bit of a nightmare on 12. I think she'll get another shot at it. She's only 17. So
Oh, wow.
maybe
She'll
next
be
year.
all right.
You only get limited goes at it, don't
Yeah,
you?
good
I
luck
suppose.
next year. Absolutely.
On the PGA Tour, we had the Texas Open at TPC San Antonio, where JJ has respawned for a one-shot.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, that was there for the
Yeah, it's
taking.
right there.
One-shot win over Bobby McIntyre, Michael Kim, and Matt Wallace. The lone Aussie in the film, Carl Phillips, unfortunately missed the cut, but it was a heck of a finish.
Yeah. Ludwig, still had the quick hips going, Ludwig.
But he's still
the
playing
final
well.
day.
He
Yeah.
was 2 shots back.
Yeah,
Two
yeah.
shots back.
I'm with you.
Bobby McIntyre, I think he was leading going into the 3rd round. Then they had a suspension of play. They played like 28 holes or something on the
You see
on
a
the
shot on
final day.
17.
What a shot that was! And here's a stat for you:
Yeah, go on.
if he'd have won,
Yeah.
that would have been 3 left-handed winners in a row at this tournament.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, because it was Brian Harmon,
Yes.
Akshay Bhatia,
And now
and Bobby Mack. He hit a horrible shot on 18.
Oh,
Big
the
pull-
layup was a
pull,
disaster.
yeah.
You know what he said about it to himself? I won't
No.
say the language because
Okay.
it was pretty fruity.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Had a couple of nasty ones.
Yeah.
Well,
Thompson.
17 was incredible because Ludwig gets up there
Yeah.
with a 3-wood and fades it
Mm.
and stops it like a wedge to 6 feet.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and draws
Draws
a
it.
fairway
Yeah.
wood.
Well, Ludwig's a
So
little
8
longer.
feet.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy. So impressive. Anyway, well done to JJ because he'd been playing pretty ordinary golf up until then.
Yeah,
So
I
anyway, the LPGA and LET had a co-sanction event called the Aramco Championships at Shadow Creek in Las Vegas. Did you watch any of this?
I love watching
It
this
felt-
particular tournament.
It
'cause
felt like a major.
Yeah.
It was. They usually play the match play there.
Yeah. Now, while we're on this,
Hmm.
Shadow Creek has an aura about it.
Yeah.
It does have a major feel. I'm with you.
It's completely manufactured, obviously, been in Las Vegas, but it played so good.
Mate,
7 over was the cut.
If they're happy to have a women's event there every year, somehow turn this into a major. That's what I'd be trying to manufacture.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to always have, which was the tournament they used to jump in the
Chevron, yeah.
The Chevron's a major, right? So it sounds like another tournament.
So
why wouldn't they have the women's masters at Shadow Creek?
I just heard, the Chevron, how they jump into the water. They've gone to a new course. It might be called Memorial Park, where they don't have a pond, apparently next to the 18th. You know what they're doing?
What are they doing?
They're building a little pond next to the 18th
so
someone can jump in.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
come on.
No,
Anyway.
I would take advantage of Shadow Creek because, like I said, it has an aura about it. Not an aura like Augusta, not quite an aura like the old course, but it has an aura. I want to go see this joint.
Yeah.
And every year I watch that tournament closely because I want to have a look at Shadow Creek.
Yeah. No, it's a magnificent property. We stayed one year at, I think it's the Wynn Hotel.
Yeah.
The Steve Wynn. Yes.
Yeah.
And you look down and you can sort of see it in the distance.
Yeah.
And pretty impressive. Anyway, Ping Zone, Lauren Coughlin had a wire-to-wire win. She had a 5-shot win over Leona Maguire, the Irish woman, and Nelly Corder, again finishing runner-up. She was in the final group. So she's played in 4 tournaments this year. 4 times she's been in the final group.
Jeez.
She's playing amazing golf. She's had a win and then 3 seconds in a row.
Good
So
on
well done to her. Our own Karis Davidson finished tied for 5th. Well done to her.
Wow.
And Lydia Ko tied for 11th, was the other best of the Australasians there.
Did you ever play Shadow Creek?
No, I never did. No, we were always playing TPC Summerland, which was Justin Timberlake tournament.
Yeah. I
in
played
Vegas.
one of the stupidest golf courses in my life in Las Vegas.
Okay.
It was, I can't remember what it was called. I have a bad memory of it.
Okay.
But every hole was a copy of a famous
somewhere else. Okay.
of a famous links course, right? So they've built 18 links golf holes in the middle of Las Vegas.
Right.
So not one hole played like a links course.
Wow. There you
Not
go.
one hole had the same grass as a links course.
Yeah.
It was pathetic.
Oh.
It was.
Well, what do you do?
It was hopeless.
Might as well have gone to Top Golf in Vegas.
I should have gone to Top Golf, Dan.
Maybe.
You're exactly right.
Yeah. Actually, Vegas was twice when my time living in America, in 13 years, I got pulled over by the local constabulary, the sheriff or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And twice I got let off. The first one I told you about was the match play. Many years ago I was speeding and all that sort of stuff, and I won't go into that one. But this one, I was going along the freeway and there was an off-ramp or something, and I've taken the off-ramp and I've just flown either back in from Australia or something, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I've decided to drive up the wrong way or
Yeah,
something.
that happens.
It happens, being...
I call it an Australia flashback.
Absolutely.
You have a little flashback that you're in Australia.
Yeah, no, totally.
You get in the wrong way.
And then sure enough, I pull out and I'm facing this guy. I'm like, okay, that's wrong. And then all of a sudden, the siren goes off and I go, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But I'm in the tournament car. It always helps. It always helps to have that PGA Tour logo on the side of the car. I whip out my Australian driver's license and say, I'm sorry, officer, but I've just flown back in from Australia. And he looks at it, because the problem for them is if they book you, they've got all this paperwork to do. They've got to go through all of the logistics and it's a nightmare. And he goes, oh, don't worry. Just make sure you stay on the right side of the road next time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm 2 for 2 in the States.
Just while, cause, I mean, that's a flex, all right? That's a flex to the coppers.
Well, it helps to have the logo on the car. So.
Did you see the Tiger Woods flex when he got pulled over?
Oh, that
God.
was terrible.
It was
What was
horrifying.
that one?
Terrible.
So the police have turned up.
Oh, Nick, this is going to blow your mind.
The police have turned up. He's on the phone and he kind of just puts the phone down and goes, hi, guys, I was just on the phone to the president.
No.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Did he really?
It was such torture.
Cringe.
It was the biggest cringe. I mean, he's trying to flex.
And they still
I'm
arrested
Tiger.
him.
I'm talking to the president.
Oh, my God.
Hey, guys, I've just talked to I'm just on the phone with the president.
Get you to hang out down here with us, please.
Thank you so much. All right. You got it. All right. Thank you. Bye. Say again?
Just keep you down here with us, please.
Yeah, I was just talking to the president. Trying to get away from those.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I can only hope that it was drug effects that made him do
let's
it.
hope so.
Surely he couldn't be that.
You know what? I think it was just a blink reaction. Just he reacted badly because of the state he was in. It's, because that is that is embarrassing.
It was horrible.
All right, back to the Ping Globals. And speaking of Ping, Travis Smythe had another win, a Ping player in the International Series in Japan. He holed about a 25-foot eagle putt on the final hole.
He's
I don't know
on
if you
a
saw
big
it.
roll, this
He's
kid.
on a tear at the moment. Yeah, shot a final round 64, beating Pavitt Camel Prosit, the
Yes.
Thai golfer. I don't know how I got that one out, but I did.
You did well.
And Ryosuke Kunishita, the Japanese golfer, who
And
shot
he
a
wants to
final
get on
round
live,
63.
doesn't he, Travis? He wants to get to live, and this should put him in pole position, is what I read.
Yeah, the International Series, if you get on their order of merit and do well there, well, then obviously
good luck to you, Travis.
that's a pathway. And talk birdie to his own, Austin Truslow, outright fourth by himself, had a great week. Cameron Johns continuing on his good form, tied for 7th, and Wade Ormsby tied for 12th. Best of the Aussies there. Locally, we had Q School happening at Sandhurst, the Australasian qualifying school, where Hayden Hopewell had a 4-shot win. So well done to the West Aussie on a win there. And that's it for this week's Ping Globals.
Well done.
Hey, before we move on to the feedback, you were talking about the order of merit a moment ago with Travis, and we did have one message here that I thought we might just touch on because it's actually quite relevant. This comes from Marcus, and Marcus said, "Boys, can you help me understand how the order of merits make any sense? Travis Smythe wins Australasia order of merit with 4 starts and 1 win. Not even won the Aussie Open or Aussie PGA. Cam John, 17 starts, 3 wins, 2 runner-ups and a further top 10 finish. Rory also seems to be up the top of the DP World Tour order of merit when he only plays the 4 majors, Scottish Open and Dubai. This seems a kick in the guts to players around the world who grind week in, week out on the lesser tours, only for someone else to parachute in from another tour." Now, you did touch on this last week briefly, but Marcus is after just a bit of detail around it.
Well, I'm not going to criticise Travis for winning it, but I do think you need to play in at least half to be considered that you are supporting the tour, because you know, I know once upon a time Greg Norman, he used to win the Order of Merit in America playing the bare minimum, which I think back in the old days was 13 events. There might have been 35, 36 tournaments a year or 40 tournaments a year. So Greg, was a superstar of the game and the number one player in the world for 331 weeks in a row. But I think at smaller tours, you do want to reward people who are perceived to be supporting the tour.
Sure, yeah.
So if you're only playing in 4 events and there's a schedule of 18.
I get that, yeah. But the way the Australasian Tour is structured is you have these tiers. So you have like the Australian Open, the BMW PGA, you have the New Zealand events, which is what Travis won, for example.
Yep.
And they're at a certain level and they're, 3 or 4 times the amount of points that are available in the smaller events. Cameron John won 3 of the smaller events, a couple of $100,000 events, and they were great wins, but the strength of field isn't the same. It's much deeper and stronger fields in the bigger events, like the Australian Open. You got to beat Cam Smith and Rasmus Nygaard Pedersen and all those, and the other ones you're playing against more the locals. So I sort of see, where Cam might be a bit hard done by, but at the same time, you have to perform in those bigger events against the stronger fields. Now, minimum number of events, it's always been around that 4, because a lot of the players, for example, like Travis, or it might be Adam Scott or Mark Leishman, who's come back
somewhere else.
They're playing, elsewhere. So for them to qualify for the Order of Merit and get the benefits of it, Travis came down specifically to play 4 events to try and win the Order of Merit. I know that. He actually stated that and said, this is what I want to do. And to his credit, he did it. So congratulations. And Cam, he gets a full status on the Hotel Planet Tour, and he'll if you're good enough, you're going to get there in the end.
That's right.
Yeah.
I still think there should be 8. You should have to support the tour just a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe 6 or something like that. I don't think 8's asking too many.
I'm happy with 6.
Yeah.
I'm happy with 6 or 7.
7.
You be the tiebreaker there. 6 or 7.
I'll say we'll go 7.
7.
7.
Well, it's not going to happen. So okay.
Excellent question from Marcus, and I reckon Marcus will give you a $250 voucher to the Golf Clearance Outlet to spend at your leisure, which would be fantastic. Now, speaking of the Golf Clearance Outlet, the masterclass, Mark.
Yes.
What do you got?
Well, the greens have been caught at Kingston East, so I can't do it there.
Oh.
But what I'm going to do is, when the greens are quick and undulating, how to lag putt. The best, you got to have a plan.
You're going to need it this week.
Yeah, at Augusta, you are going to need it. So that's coming up next. Okay, Mark Allen here at the Golf Clearance Outlet, and it has been such a great relationship that we have had at Talk Birdie to Me, the #1 podcast in Australia, with the Golf Clearance Outlet. We're growing together. And the feedback that I keep on getting is that these stores are making golf affordable no matter what state you live in. We've got 9 Golf Clearance Outlets right across the country. 2 more are on the way. The latest one was in Mornington, and they all look like this. You've got the putting barn, you've got golf balls, you've got gloves, you've got all these shirts. But folks, believe me, at the Golf Clearance Outlet, the price is right. Welcome to the masterclass. This is a very, very simple one, a really simple one. The greens are running at 12 or 13, or heaven forbid they're running at 14. And they do at some clubs, and there's a little bit of undulation. When a long putt can get out of control on you is when you actually miss it low. So when you are doing a little bit of preparation, or if you're playing in a tournament, or if you're just having a few putts on really quick greens before your round, do this little experiment. So have a few long putts where there is significant curve, and then go back from the same spot and do a few putts where you are trying to miss it high on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you will find, if you keep check on where all these putts finished, the putts where you tried to miss them high will be much, much closer to the hole than the putts that drift low.
Spot on.
Or left or right low. And it's a very, very simple tactic to use. And I know at Augusta they do it, players and caddies, if you listen closely enough, you'll say, just miss it on the high side. That's something that caddies, good caddies, will tell their player an awful lot on these big, long curlers, is try and miss it on the high side, because they know if you're trying to miss it on the high side, it's a little bit short, and it'll just kind of die in front of the hole and stop there. And if you miss it high and it's a little bit long, it's a hell of a lot better than missing it low and a little bit long. The low one that's a long putt, a long way past the hole, they tend to drift off forever.
Yeah.
Very simple.
The other way to hit better lag putts is hit it closer.
Yes, that's a very good idea as well. That's a very good idea as well.
But you're spot on. I think one of the most common things I see whenever I play with people, under-reading putts.
Yeah.
Very much so. They really trying to, and you almost want to feel as though you're dripping the ball in that high side,
right.
almost going in like at, if it's a right to left putt, it's going in at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Right. The center of the hole actually changes.
It does.
Yeah,
Totally.
that's exactly right. And another thing you can do also, and I know that you've done this before, I've heard you talking about it, is when you are putting on the putting green, you set up, take your last look at where you're going, and then don't look back at the hole, at the ball, and just keep your eye on the hole. And if you can start to look at the hole and feel your stroke, get the ball close to the hole, then it seems to stick in your brain a hell of a lot better. So do that a few times, then go back to looking at the ball and doing the same thing. And a little drill that I used to always do is, in my head, I would say, that's 2 foot past. That's 6 foot short. That one's perfect. And then look up, and you'll find those little rehearsals in your head where you go, that's 2 foot short. You'll actually get pretty good at it. And when you know where the ball's going to go, well, it's just going to help you in the long run.
Love it.
Very simple.
Well, that's the pod this week, guys. A reminder about our Better multi. So let's go through it again. It is Justin Rose top 10.
Yes.
It is
Ludwig
Ludwig top 10.
Top 10.
And Rory to beat Bryson,
which
head
is
to head.
Yeah, head to head. Yeah, you're a bit iffy.
We'll see.
You're a bit iffy, but that's okay. We're trying to roll the dice for the Wolfpack out there so they can make a little bit of money. And let's face it, we are on a roll. We're flying.
Way ahead.
Well, just search Bet Specials, download the app, and you'll find it there. And that's a bit of value there too.
Have a great week, this Masters week, folks.
We'll be bleary-eyed next week because I'm going to be up late watching it, trying not to go to bed, and then waking up very early. Oh, well. It's called coffee.
Talk Birdie to Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen, live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. The Golf Clearance Outlet, they beat everyone's prices. BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Better, ahead of the game. Ping will help you play your best. And Host Plus. They can help you drive your retirement further. Now that's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. This is general advice. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Wherever you listen or watch, we'd love you to subscribe and share the pod with a friend. Talk Birdie Samee's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. And now from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, that's been Talk Birdie Samee.